Hey everybody, Susan here with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. It's Mystery Monday. So we've got a mystery case card. Here were the clues. You would have 3 different color cardstocks. Now you could opt to change out one of these for designer series paper if you prefer, but I just thought we'd start with 3 pieces of cardstock. So cardstock 1, okay, it's just a quarter sheet. Cardstock 2 is actually going to be the card base, and I've told you to cut it down to 8 by 5 1/4, so that'll just step on the inside of that. And then the third one is 4 1/4 by 1 1/2. Okay, and then I'm going to stick with my 2 colors here for my ink. So I've got soft suede, and this is actually the Bumblebee, the new in color Bumblebee, but I don't have that ink yet, so I'm using crushed curry as my ink to go with this. Then I chose to use the Free as a Bird stamp set. So these are the images and the words I'm going to use. Okay, I have some of the new Bumblebee gingham ribbon I'm going to use. And I'm going to use this new Stitched So Sweetly framelit on my card. So, and I've already die cut that out of the Bumblebee cardstock. So let's go ahead and I'll put together a mystery card for you, and then you can play along this week and do one too. So now remember, I'm going to put 1 card together with these pieces. You can envision any card you'd like to play in the challenge. You can change around the composition of your pieces. This is just one option. So we are going to be stamping on these pieces here. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I'm going to stamp here on this piece. So usually I would say reserve this piece for your sentiment, but in this case I'm going to be using it for my main image. And because this image of the birds is bigger than my die, I'm actually going to select just a section of the stamp to use. So I'm going to shoot for these 3 birds and the branch, and I'm going to eliminate that one. So to do that, I'm going to use the marker tip on my Stampin' Right marker, and I'm just going to lightly apply ink to that part of the stamp. So we call this selective stamping. So you can do it with words, you can do it with images. The idea is you just don't ink up the whole image and then you stamp it down, or you could mask off a part of the image if you wanted to. So I'm just going to do it with my marker. I'm just not going to ink that last bird. So I've inked him, and now I'm going to stamp him on my piece here. So let's see. There. Now I am going to use my blender pen because I don't want to add a lot of color to this. It's kind of going to be like a monochrome image here, but I do want some of this soft suede ink to kind of shade in some of the details here. So I'm just going to do the leaves and the branch, and so by using my blender pen, I'm just pulling the soft suede ink that I just stamped down and just kind of pulling it gently into some of the images. So there's that. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp on my card front. So this piece is going to end up down here, and we're going to have this here. Okay, so it's going to tie those 2 pieces in, and then the whole thing is going to get mounted on a frame of that quarter sheet mount. So I'll move this away again, but I want to add some stamped images, kind of like stamping my own background paper, around this main image. So I kind of want a visual. Okay, that's where that's going to be. I'm going to take this off. Now I'm going to leave this in place while I stamp 2 sides of cardstock. So when I'm done using it kind of as my mask, I'm going to flip it over and use it on the card. But it's not really a mask because I'm not worried about the stamp stuff below, but I want to know at what height to stamp my background images on the white piece. So that kind of guides me to where I need to be stamping. So I'm going to stamp some of these leaves because they kind of go right along with our image. And now, like I said, I don't have the bumblebee ink yet, but I do have crushed curry, and as you know, our colors all coordinate. So it might be a shade off of what I am using as my cardstock, but it's pretty close. So, okay, I'm going to add some small ones. Now remember, I'm putting that up because I'm going to have that big label there. Let's see, do I want another flower? Yeah, we'll leave it like that. Let's see. Okay, so I've got background there. Okay, now, if I wanted to, I could take my blender pen again. I'm just going to move this away. And if I wanted to use my blender pen, I could softly pull in some of that crushed curry ink that I just stamped those blossoms in, and just lightly add color into them. So blender pens are kind of nice because any color you stamp in, you can pull that color in. So I'm going to leave the leaves alone. Alright, so now I'm going to flip this piece over, and look, it's clean again. I'm going to stamp my sentiment down here in the corner. Okay, so now this is going to get added back to the front of the card. Oh, but I forgot something before I do that. I want to add just a piece of this ribbon along the top edge. So I don't need much, I just need it to wrap around the back a little bit. And I did just put snail in there, so this should be easy to tack. So I'm just going right along the top of that piece of cardstock. Okay, I'm going to go right over that ribbon. And now I'm going to add this to the front of my card. So without having to use a great length of ribbon, I'm getting that ribbon and the added texture and the added print on my card. Okay. Flip it over, give it a good tapping. Now, I want to add some of this to the inside of my card, just for a little extra, you know, decoration. So I'm going to repeat that same idea that I did for the background in here, and I think I'm going to go ahead and do those flowers in here too. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to take this card and adhere it to that quarter panel so that it's all mounted up and framed. So I'm going to take my time and get that centered. Press. Again, I'm going to flip it over to press that adhesive together because I don't want to smear the ink that I've got on there. Okay, now this I'm going to add on with dimensionals. So let's see. My dimensionals are just about gone, as you can see, but that's okay. We're going to use all our bits and pieces. So this is going to go right like that. Now I think I want a little more. Let's see, I have my chalk marker. So I'm just going to add a little bit of white, kind of dotting the flowers with my chalk marker. I'm just kind of giving them a little bit of little ink. So this main image is kind of like a monochrome. I stamped it in the brown, right, the soft suede. I blended it to add a little bit of shading to the branch and the leaves. And now I'm just coming in and adding some pop of white to those little flowers. But I'm not going to do anything to the birds. I'll leave the birds be. So let's see. Envelope. Let's repeat that same stamping that we did. just going to use this corner. Add some flowers. If you're going to stamp a card, you might as well stamp the envelope, right? I like that. Nice and bright, cheery. So, good friendship card to send off to somebody who needs a little hello these days, right? So, there we go. There is our mystery card. So, pretty simple, and you could do a lot of different things with it, which I invite you to do. Remember to snap your photos and send them to me, Susan@pumpkinhillstampers.com this week, and I'll share them. And I can't wait to see what you do. I have a couple other samples this week that follow this idea, so stay tuned to the blog posts or the emails, and you'll see some other exciting cards that follow this same case idea. So have a great week, everybody, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.